Hello, hello. We'll leave a few minutes for people to start filtering in, and then we'll be able to sort of get everything underway. But we have a few subnets who are coming today to sort of present what they've been working on, and let the community know a little bit more in depth about what they've been developing and how they've been contributing to the ecosystem to try and convince all of you lovely holders and users to support validators that apply weights on obviously those specific subnets, and convince the validators obviously themselves where they should be directing their emissions. So it's very, very important for as many of you to try and get involved if you can, and sort of be as vocal as you can about the projects that you personally think are worth supporting, and talk to everybody else, speak to the validators that you support, and try and work out if you can where they're going to be placing their emissions, and if necessary, maybe even hop to a different validator that's going to be applying weights towards the projects that you personally prefer or would like to see developed further. But as I said, we'll give it a little bit of time just to make sure as many people who need to be here are going to arrive, and then we'll be able to sort of kick things off. I do also have a message from Honzo, who unfortunately said he won't be able to attend, but hopefully somebody else from the commune-ai team will be able to in his stead. However, if not, then he has provided the presentation materials, and I will be presenting in their stead if necessary. Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Going.
Not too.
I'm trying to find a quiet place. Yeah, no, this is cool. I guess this is like our kind of resuming like presentations. Ideally, I feel like we should think of like a good time to do it. I think we could start on like Monday. I'm saying the best is probably either do it Monday or Thursday at the end of the week or at the beginning of the week. And then we're gonna also do like bounties, and then like obviously if you present, and we'll try to push it out as much as we can to the community. So like we want to kind of get that rolling again, because yeah, we've been really busy with like just all these updates, and we got continuously doing updates, but we're just trying to make things better experience. We're trying to make it easy to make a subnet. I still don't think it's as easy as it should be, but we're getting there, and yeah, we'll see what people are making.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what everybody's been up to. Obviously, this has been like a protocol-defining period, a complete change to the entire control of the incentives landscape has sort of come across, and I think a lot of people haven't realized exactly how significant the magnitude of this undertaking has been. I think we'll give it another couple of minutes just to make sure that everybody is here, and then we'll be able to kick it off. Although if everybody who's presenting is ready, I don't know, open scope, if you guys want to come up first.
Yeah, let's OX and GA.
Yeah, if you guys want to go first, no worries.
And let's also get DK in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Oh, hey guys. Can you guys hear
Hello.
me?
Yep.
What's up, Mr. Open Scope?
Yeah. All good, all good. You can call me Johnny. Yeah.
Johnny,
Hey guys.
I love Pepe the Frog. I love how much Pepe is there in commune.
Yeah. Just trying to be friendly and funny here. To lie with the vibe in the community.
Mhm.
So what's the schedule here? We wait for more people or we go straight to presentation?
We'll give it another minute or so just to make sure everybody who needs to be here is here. And then, yeah, sure, sort of take it away. As it was said before, about 10 to 15 minutes or so. And obviously, after each presentation, we'll give the opportunity for the people in the audience to sort of field any questions that they have and things like that.
Awesome. Got it.
So we can go after Open Scope then.
Yep, no problem.
Sounds great. Crenshaw is your PFP from like an NFT series? It's
No.
really cute.
No, not at all. I just like penguins, that's all.
Anyone try the penguin game? Like Club Penguin?
Yeah, bro, those guys crushed it, man. Those guys built a real metaverse like over a decade ago, honestly. Like it was real time. There was messaging. You could have pets. There were mini games. I mean, I don't know how they did it like a decade ago. And then they sold to Disney for I think $1 billion or something. I think their business was doing like 50 to 100 mil in revenue, and then Disney just axed it. Like Disney didn't. Like I don't know what Disney did with it, but they really screwed up.
Yeah, man. Even like Vine too, bro. Vine was ahead of its time. Fucking Twitter axed it.
Yeah.
Right, I think that should be long enough.
Yeah.
If you guys want to take it ahead. Johnny, if you're ready.
Sure, let's do it. Let me share my screen. Oops. Kind of need to adjust the privacy settings. Oh, I need to restart the Discord. So
Yeah, no problem.
we'll
Take
be
it away.
back
That's
in.
okay. That's all good.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, OpenScope have been around for a little while. And it's essentially, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, a subnet that covers setting trades and essentially rewards you for your trading positions based on how successful they are. So they've seen quite a lot of action in recent times, and they migrated here from other protocols with similar services. And they've been very successful up till now. Obviously, when it comes to trading, there's always people who win and people who lose. But up until now, they've seen quite a lot of attention from the community and done very well for themselves in terms of what they developed and keeping in contact with the community and updating and making changes. So we're very excited to see what they've got coming in the future. Hopefully they'll be up and running momentarily.
Yeah, OpenScope joined. I think he's raised his hand and he's requesting to be on stage.
Okay, I'm back. Let me share. Let's say, well, this is the first time I share in the Discord. Let me try. Can you guys see the slide?
Yeah, it's visible
Yes.
for me. If there's anybody who does have problems, then just let us know. But otherwise, there will obviously be a recording of this meeting up, ideally later on today, so you guys can watch anything that you missed.
Okay, let's go. So hey guys, hey the community. So this is open scope. We are Subnet 5. So this is a simple presentation of what open scope does and what's the status for open scope and what you can do in our subnet and I think the most important thing and I think the core of this community call is maybe like to showcase like why validators should assign their weights for our subnet. So this is gonna be a like 5 minutes simple presentation. So it's gonna be majorly 3 sections. So the first is what is open scope, obviously, and second is what we have done already, and the last one is why you should vote for open scope. And for this first section, what is open scope? So I don't want to spend a lot of time to like read all those description from GitHub, like all those vision things. So here's we go straight to like what does miner do in this open scope subnet and what does validator do in this subnet. So basically, what miners do is miners need to train your crypto quant trading strategy based on your own data or your previous experience, or just simply like you have your own set of crypto trading strategies, or you can use our data. So we have a series of crypto events data, and those events include like token listings and CEX deposit withdrawals, or the CEX buys or CEX sells, and also a lot of others like if smart money is buying this token or smart money is selling this token, stuff like that. You can use all those events data to train your crypto trading strategies. And once you got your own strategies, make sure that you use our miner script, and you just simply run the miner script, and this miner script will allow you to send trades. So by sending trades, it means like you can set like which token you want to long or which token you want to short, and you can also set the leverages. And we will use the real-time market price to evaluate your performance, and that comes like to the part that what does validator do in the subnet. So first of all, validators need to collect the trades from each miners. So there's a lot of like thousands of different trades from hundreds of miners every day. So you need to collect all those trades, and you need to use those trades, and you need to use the price feed, which is provided by us, and to evaluate miner performance. Basically, there is a set of mature strategy metrics. So it evaluates first of all your position ROI. So your returns for the past 30 days, and we also check your max drawdowns and all those other risk metrics to make sure that your strategy is valid in different market conditions. And the last part is you need to use those scores, and eventually validators will give each miners a score, and you need to use this score to rank miners and assign weights based on the score. So I hope this basically explains what our subnet do. So and the second part, I want to introduce briefly about our team background. So OpenScope is backed by ZeroScope. So our team members from the ZeroScope team. So we have raised 2 rounds, a total of 8 million from OKX, Hashkey, and GSR, and all the other VCs for the last 2 years. And also we have been building Web3 AI data products for the last 2 years. We have a on-chain data analysis platform called ScopeScan, and we also have a AI-based trading product called ScopeChat, which already have 1,000 subscriber users. Okay, let's go to the second part. So what do we have? Sorry, this title should be what do we have done already, but hope you guys get it. So right now we have been building on Commune for almost I think 2.5 months. So besides the minor scripts and besides the miner templates and the validator templates, we provide in the GitHub repo, and there are also stuff we have done. So we have the OpenScope, especially for OpenScope website, and of course I think this is for every subnet. And second of all, we have a subnet dashboard, because basically we have these 4 rankings and rank miners based on the evaluation results, the score of their trading strategies. So we will show the miners rankings. So you can see here is their score. It's ranked from 1 to top 15, and we also show their 3-day return and max drawdowns. And you can also check the subnet status. So for example, right now I think we have 6% of the total emission share. Hope it will get bigger, but that depends on the validators. And there's another thing that we currently are cooking is we have developed a Telegram miner bot, because I think one of the barriers for more people to join commune and become the miner is that first of all, you have to understand all the codes. You have to understand all the you need to use command lines to interact with the network. You need to register, and you need to run all those Python scripts to interact with the network. So, and what we are thinking is that maybe, okay, you are a newcomer, you don't know how to do it, and our subnet model is for miners to use their trading strategy to send trades. So maybe we can just make a Telegram miner bot. So I'm pretty sure, and a lot of guys have used all those like Solana meme coin trading bots and maybe some base meme trading bots. So this is pretty much works like it. So basically, you can use our Telegram miner bot to, first of all, manage your wallets. You can generate your commune wallets, and then you can register your wallets to our subnets, and you can use this wallet to send trades. By sending trades, you are become part of the OpenScope network, and you can also maybe check positions, check miner status. So you can check what's your ranking right now. And also you can see that we integrate the registration process in a command line to the Telegram bot. And it's already live. So here is the Telegram bot handle. Right now it's currently on testnet. So you can just input this handle and try it out. So our bot is ready there. So for the last part, and so we want to talk about like why you should vote for OpenScope. So this will also be divided into 3 sections. So first of all, from the miner perspective, we are identified as miner friendly. So first of all, there's no additional cost. So you only need to pay for the registration cost and run your strategy, and that's it. And this for the second part, we just talked about our Telegram miner bot. So there will be codeless interactions with both commune and OpenScope. And hopefully, if everybody likes this Telegram miner idea, we can maybe migrate this whole the network interaction process to all the subnets. We can talk about later. But and for the last part, for OpenScope, for all the miners, we have fair competitions. So all of your rankings, all of your rates is based on a mutual and open standard. You can check all the ranking strategies, ranking logics, and scoring logics within our code. It's all open source. So everybody have a fair chance. And oh, damn. Hope you don't mind. I forget to delete this part, but you can see the point 1, point 2. So first of all, for validators, the validator operation is super simple. So there's no additional knowledge required. You just need to stake and run the provided script. And I think checked this afternoon. I think there's already over 16 million stakes of validators already validation on our OpenScope mainnet. And for the second part, our validation is pretty quantified. So basically, if all the validators they receive the same trace, same inputs, they will get this exactly same results. So you don't need to worry about it that your results is different from the other validators. So if everybody is running the same scripts, so all the validators have the same results. So I think based on the UMA consensus, this helps validators to have like a better income. And for the last part, I want to talk about the subnet usage. So, and I think that's what most people are concerned about for the current subnet design. I think the most important subnet usage for OpenScope is we want to identify the best crypto trading strategies. Because I think, frankly, right now, most of the crypto user cases and also related with AI is mostly around the trading cryptos. And so for our subnets, we're gonna do the following things in the coming months. First, we have been building a trading strategy internally by Zero Scope team. So we will probably launch the trading strategy soon in our OpenScope subnet. So we hope this trading strategy can also inspire other good traders or good quant trading strategy builders to give us the best crypto trading strategy. And the second one is once we have all those top miners, top strategies, we will monetizing the strengths. So basically, what we want to do is we want to sell the signals, to sell the top miners trades for others to maybe like copy trading, and the service fee is gonna be paid with commune-ai tokens. So hopefully this will add another utility for the tokens. And for the last part, we have already talking with multiple CEX to potentially first of all, we have our own trading strategies, and second of all, we have other top miners strategies. So by that time, we can list those strategies on CEX to compete with other like manually top miners. Okay, that's all the parts I want to talk about, and hopefully this expands the OpenScope visions and what we're doing, and I'm happy to answer any of the questions. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, Johnny. I think that helps a lot of people sort of understand a little bit better what's been going on. Again, if anybody does have any questions, feel free to pop them in. So I just wanted to clarify one of the points you made earlier about the Telegram trading bot was that you kind of wanted to reduce the barrier to entry, didn't you? Because you didn't want there to be a requirement to not only sort of understand like trading itself, you also didn't want people to feel like they couldn't take part because they couldn't get their head around the CLI. Is that correct?
Yes, because I think it's mostly important. It's more important in our subnet because even if there's a lot of folks that they have a lot of trading expertise, but they don't know how to code, right? So
Yeah.
we also want to attract those guys to contribute their trading strategies, and also, yeah, like you just mentioned, if we want more people to be part of this, you need to lower the barrier, right? Yeah.
Angad was asking where he can access the dashboard that you showed because he couldn't find it on the webpage.
Yes, so we previously have it live, but recently we just launched V2, which added a series of complex new features like leverage and new evaluation metrics. But so we are updating the dashboard, but I think it will be go back. It will be back in Wednesday. I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And then Savvy was asking, where would the miner private key be stored if the miner is registered through the TG bot?
Yes. So right now our solution is like I think it also applies for most of the Telegram trading bots. So we have a database to store your private keys, and I think that's the steps we must to take, right? So, but I think in the future stages, if we have more capacity, we can introduce more encryptions to your keys. Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. Perfect. If anybody else has any sort of last questions, then feel free. Otherwise, let's move on to Angad when we get the opportunity. So we'll just leave it for a moment. It seems like Savvy's typing. Will it be possible to register the miner by themselves and then use it through the Telegram bot?
I think right now we can't do it, but I think it's gonna be easy to implement. Yeah, I think maybe after like 1 or 2 weeks, it will be possible. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Johnny, for coming up and talking to everybody. I think it's given everyone a lot more insight into what's been going on and how the whole process works, and maybe it'll be easier for them to sort of get involved and on board.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Johnny. That was great.
Yeah, no, if you're ready, Angad, you can go ahead and rev things up.
Cool. And then let's also get DK on the stage real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
He's our engineering lead on the subnet. Cool. So I'm just gonna share my screen.
Absolutely.
Just a second. Have a little presentation. And then a bit of a heads up. We're definitely much newer to Commune. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, it's showing for me.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'll also put my video on. Cool. So my name is Angad, and that's Akshat, my co-founder, and we have DK, who is our engineering lead on the subnet. And we're building a company called Dippy. And Dippy is an AI companion app, so you can chat with various therapists, you can chat with various, like I guess AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, your favorite gaming character, your favorite anime character. And so this app is live on the App Store. It's on both iOS and Android. And what powers the app is a role play LLM. And role play LLMs are very different from productivity LLMs. And we'll dive into that a bit more over this conversation. But I guess high level, I'll just introduce the AI companion space, why it's really important to sort of have an open source alternative to what's already out there, and what we're doing as a company as well. So high level overview of the companion space. A lot of people may not know this, but it's actually the biggest consumer use case of AI. So ChatGPT and Gemini are the most used, I would say, enterprise or business AI products. But after ChatGPT and Gemini, there's this company called Character AI, and it's actually the most used AI app. Right now, it's the cool. Yeah, right now it's the 100th. It's gone up. It's the 100th most visited website in the world, and it's the most used AI app after ChatGPT and Gemini. Character AI gets 20,000 queries per second, which is 20% of Google searches volume. And okay, why are people coming to these AI companion apps? It's because loneliness is a really big problem.
Oh,
and
one moment,
Gen
Angad,
Zs are
sorry.
loneliest.
Could you restart the screen share for me, please? There's a little bit of problem on the recording side of things, so it won't be showing up in the video.
Cool. No worries. How's it now? Any better?
Just checking for confirmation.
Yeah, my side it keeps loading. Yeah.
It seems like it keeps
Okay,
loading
maybe
for
I'll-
everyone. Yeah, it may be a bandwidth
Okay.
issue. Yeah, if we try having the camera off, and hopefully this will show up for everybody now. We'll give it a shot and see what
Also,
can happen.
maybe I share the tab instead of sharing my whole screen. Maybe this is better.
Yeah, it seems like it was working for half the people and not for the other half. Can everybody confirm that it's showing up for everybody now?
I can see it, but that's not surprising. It's a Discord thing. There's always issues with sharing it and not everyone being able to see the screen.
Okay. It does seem like it's not massively
yeah.
working for everybody. We may just get you to sort of send this over to us so we can incorporate into the video
Yeah,
while
yeah,
you're
yeah.
speaking.
I can actually put it in the chat right now. Like I can just
Yeah, and then everybody else
quickly.
can follow on, and then we'll probably request a copy later on to put into the video so that we can have it running alongside everything else.
Yeah, I just want to see if this works. I just shared a link. I'm just gonna test it. See. Oh, does it work? Or okay, wait, just a second. I could just stop streaming real quick. It's pretty easy to get the link, so I'm just gonna put it up. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's okay. This is just so that everybody else can follow along and they can see what you're talking about and
Yeah, of
internalize it.
course. Yeah, okay. So this link should work. I just put it in chat. I'll delete the older link. So cool. And I'll share my screen and keep going. Just share this one. Cool. Yeah, so I guess I was just talking about how companionship is a really big. It's the biggest use case of AI, and the main problem is this company, Character AI, and all other companies building in the space. They're totally closed source, so they serve so many users. Like they get 20% of Google search volume, which is insane. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, like they're totally closed source. Another big issue with these apps is that they are all web first, even though all their users are on the phone. And so 75% of Character AI's web users actually use the app on the phone. And so people really want a mobile first AI companion experience. And then another big issue with these apps is that they aren't proactive. And so your AI friends, they don't reach out to you, they don't learn about you. You have to fill in a form to teach your AI friends about yourself. And yeah, so this is our app. It's live on the App Store. You can download it. It's just Dippy, Dippy. This is few screenshots from our iOS app. Right now, we're at about 100,000 monthly active users. The app's rated very well. We have over 10 million messages sent overall. And yeah, the way our app is different from the other ones is on Dippy, your friends learn about you. So we have MJSTO on this call as well. He's on the Dippy AI team, and he's actually built some very great memory features. So your friends learn about you and they reach out to you. And if you want, you can give them access to different data sources. This is totally optional, but you can give them access to your browsing history, the apps you're using, your Apple Health Kit data. And we can do this because we're mobile first. And then say your therapist will pop up. We have these widgets as well. And this cute cat, it's supposed to be your therapist. It'll pop up and be like, hey, like you spend so much time on Instagram. Maybe you should spend less time on Instagram. And yeah, this is me and my co-founder. We previously built a company called Wombo. We scaled that to 150 million users. It did good revenue-wise as well. And the Wombo apps have over 100 million users. And at Wombo, we made this one product. It was called Dream by Wombo, which was actually Google Play App of the Year back in 2022. And yeah, so what problem are we solving through Commune and our subnet? I'll explain at a high level, and then DK, who is here as well, he's the lead engineer on the subnet. He can go over things in more detail. He's actually built the whole, like our subnet code is ready and we're ready to go live as well. But this is the main issue. So if you look at productivity LLMs, right? Productivity LLMs like GPT or Gemini, there's a lot of great open source work happening there. So like you have Mistral open sourcing very good productivity LLMs. You have Meta releasing Llama 3. But now let's look at role play, right? Role play LLMs are different from productivity LLMs. Role play LLMs are they're much more empathetic. The use case for role play LLMs is entertainment. And the leading company, it's Character AI. And Character AIs, they've raised hundreds of millions of dollars. And this company is founded by Noam Shazir. He was the main author of the Transformers paper. I don't know how many people in the audience, you guys might be familiar with this paper called Attention is All You Need. It came out in 2017. And it's the architecture for all the models we use today. And so Noam Shazir founded Character AI, and they've trained their role play model from scratch for this use case, right? And this use case is very different from the productivity use case. So they have the best model. They don't disclose model weights. We don't know how to even benchmark these models, honestly. It's like a brand new research problem. Like we've studied, like productivity LLMs have been studied for decades, right? So there's benchmarks like MMLU, HelloSwag. just all these different benchmarks to evaluate, okay, which productivity like is the new Mistral model better than Llama 3.1 or is Llama 3.1 better than GPT-4? But there are no benchmarks to be like, hey, like in role play that there are no benchmarks, and in role play there's almost no open source work. Like I will just share, there's a tiny little subreddit, I'll share it in chat. There's a very tiny little like subreddit called Local Llama. I guess it's pretty big now, but here there's a group of devs that are like doing open source work on role play. But outside of that, there's very little open source work on role play LLMs. And so this is what our subnet is trying to solve. And at a high level, miners will submit models and validators will evaluate them. And we are constantly sort of thinking through. So through building Dippy, Dippy is powered entirely by open source models. And through building Dippy, we've learned sort of like, how do you benchmark a good role play model? But I mean, we're still iterating, we're still figuring out. And so we will have a few benchmarks that will evaluate the miner submitted, that we'll come up with, and the validators will evaluate the miner submitted models on. And yeah, a little bit more about the company. So Dippy itself, so this company that we're building the subnet on, we raised last year, this is pre-product, pre-team, we raised a $2.1 million pre-seed led by Drive Capital, who are former Sequoia partners. And we don't monetize the app yet. Yeah, we're using this venture funding to fund the app and also to fund our subnet efforts. And yeah, we can open it up to questions, but also want Andy to just go over all the progress we've done on the engineering side. Yeah, he's been working very hard, and yeah, Andy, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, hey guys, I'm Andy. I'm working on the commune subnet for this. So yeah, basically we are still building everything out, but we're very close to launching. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to have an open competition where the best miner submitted roleplay LLM wins, right? So it's actually a little bit different from some of the other subnet architectures out there. We're trying to do something a little bit more unique. So, in other subnets on Commune, you might run a miner instance, and that miner might be doing some kind of job like inference or, hosting a server or just, other sort of long running tasks. For us, we're designing it sort of like, I don't know if anyone is kind of familiar with the concept of or like the site Kaggle, but we kind of want to have an open competition. So for miners, what that means is that you can do whatever you need. You can use whatever resources you have available to you. You can use a variety of, whatever training formats or other kind of like preferred methods are for creating your LLM. And as long as you upload it in a common format, we'll be able to run it and evaluate it and be able to score it. And essentially what we want to set up with this is sort of like this, global leaderboard where we can see all the different miner submitted models, see how well they score, and be able to have people run and sample the topmost scoring one. And obviously, down the road, we want to get to a point where, the models are good enough that we can even use it with our regular Dippy app, or even just have our own dedicated front end or any other kind of use case that you would want a role play model to be hosted on. So yeah, that's we don't think we think this will be a really interesting kind of concept for the commune subnets, and we're trying to make it so that we can make the scoring model be fair to everybody, and to kind of encourage this sort of open competition, but also trying to account for all the other externalities that come, such as like people copying models or duplicating data or overfitting. We're trying to we're aware of all these potential threats to hosting a good subnet, and we're actively working on addressing all of these. So yeah, that's kind of the general rundown of how we want to set up our subnet. And as Angad mentioned, we have consumer use case already. We have many users already using Dippy as an app, and we're getting a steady stream of data. And hopefully, we'll actually even be able to actually mix current Dippy data to allow for miners to also kind of train our real world data in addition as well. So yeah.
Awesome.
sounds
Thanks so
great.
much, Andy. Yeah. Let us know if you guys have any questions. Yeah, Crenshaw, please take it away.
Yeah, no, by all means, everybody who has anything to ask, then go ahead. I just wanted to ask, obviously, since most of the central traditional controlled models are closed source and this is open source, does that have any impact for anybody who's not sort of in the know of how everything works on the data security? Because obviously if this is to be used for entertainment and, as you mentioned, sort of like therapy and companionship and things like that, there could be quite a lot of sensitive data going back and forth. So is that all, obviously from your perspective, secure?
I guess are you talking about like what data specifically are you talking about?
Well, if you were to talk to one of the models, for example, and it sort of learns about you, it's going to have stored up information that you've provided to it. So is that data storage itself secure for anybody who's worried about their personal or sensitive data if they sort of like unload any sensitive information for themselves, obviously for the model to use as part of its communications? Is that going to be safe and secure where it's stored in the systems?
Yes, it's safe and secure. The Dippy data, it is anonymized. Yes, and we have also explored and we're exploring storing a lot of stuff on device. So yes, it is totally secure, and we follow like similar. The way we store data is very similar to Character AI and all the other leading apps in the space and how they do it. And yeah, we're looking into storing everything on device as the phones get better, and also we're exploring running inference on device as well, longer term.
Okay, that's really cool. No, that's very interesting. Obviously, being like the breakaway from centralized models, that's probably going to be most people's, or one of their primary concerns, is obviously making sure that these decentralized groups have the ability to afford them the same anonymity and security as the central organizations. So that's really good.
100%.
It does look like that there's no other questions as of right now. As always, you guys can reach out to any of the subnet founders themselves if you have any more information, or just open up a discussion on Discord and have the whole community engage and sort of take part if required. But I believe next up we can move on to Cynthia if both Gyro and Ed are ready, and the commune-ai team.
Hey guys, sorry, my internet's kind of shit right now. So let me know in a text room if you guys can't hear me or something.
That's
let me
okay.
try to share, see if.
If it doesn't work, I can always share the slides themselves. You may have to prompt me to swap the slides as we go, but I can do that if necessary.
Yeah, just a second. Let me close some stuff because I was testing my connection.
No problem. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I presume that didn't work. I don't know if Ed can come up and take the place. Does look like Gyro is having some connectivity issues. Yeah, it looks like he's having some serious. Oh, would you
Yeah.
like me to share the slides on your behalf?
I think it was just Discord this time. It was not even the connection. Just let me
Okay.
try here.
No problem.
Yeah, can you guys see it?
It's still loading for myself at the moment anyway. There we go.
I don't. Yeah, so let's go. Oh man, I'm Jaro. I'm part of the AGI communist team. We are responsible for some pages like the docs, the governance page where you guys can see the proposals, and the commune-ai CLI where you can interact with the chain. But I'm here today to talk about Cynthia. Well, what's Cynthia? It's a subnet to generate synthetic data. It's already deployed for quite some time. I think it's maybe one of the first subnets. I'm not sure. We try to generate a huge data set of synthetic data, and currently we are using Sonnet for this. So you guys can just plug in your API key. We support both directly the Anthropic API key or the OpenAuthor. We even recommend OpenAuthor because this is better for weight limits and things like that. You guys can already see our data set here on Hugging Face. It's open source, so anybody who wants can just download the data set at any moment and use it to train models or anything they would like. We try to keep topics and target explanations within a set, so it's easy for you guys to see the structure on the data and explore it and try to train models to specific targets or specific fields. We also have a defined set of levels of abstractions and all sort of things like that. So the idea is to provide a easy way for you to interact with that data set and extract value from it. Yeah, we use Sonnet because it's better than the competition. It's way cheaper than GPT-4, and both of them are way ahead of the competition when it comes to understanding the question and generating like complex and diverse data. So we think it's the model that can give the greatest quality on the data set. Yeah, those numbers are kind of outdated. Actually, currently have more than 5 million rows, if I'm not sure. Like I showed you guys here on Hugging Face, this is open source and the data is decentralized. So every miner is prompted by the validators to answer a question within those subjects, and we just dump everything there on the dataset. It's a growing subnet. Every day new miners join, and we also plan to expand further. Our next plans on our roadmap is to add an auto update feature, because sometimes, especially on when commune-ai updates, right, the subnet can get in a inconsistent state where you need to update your commune-ai package to interact with the other modules. So this would make this transition be simpler, so you don't even need to redeploy your miners or validators. The process would update itself. We also want to include some guarantees so people can't scam the weights, so people can't copy weights from other validators or things like that. We want to give better pricing so mining is more profitable, and also Synthia is kind of entertained with the commune-ai library, because through Synthia we can see features that commune-ai needs, and we implement them on commune-ai over on commune-ai to help all subnets that want to deploy on the chain. Yeah, that was basically it. It was a very fast presentation for you guys, but anyone has any questions?
No, perfect. Thank you. Fan was asking, why don't you use a mixture of experts and add diversity?
Yeah, like our data set is still like on the beta phase of how we structure the data, because this was like the first idea and we were focusing on getting the subnet more robust and making profitable for miners. So we still didn't change how the data itself is obtained. But once we have the auto update feature, we can just change how we query and how we structure the data set like easily, and this will immediately be deployed over the entire subnet, you know. So we are focusing first on that and make it easy to use, and then we are going to increase the quality of the data set.
Ah, okay. And other than the sort of like auto update feature, is there anything else you can talk about when it comes to like the future of the Synthia subnet and what's coming next?
Yeah, aside from that, we also want to to deploy some better evaluation technique than the one we use right now. Because right now, the validator will generate an answer for a question, and then it will query the miners and basically semantically compare the answer that it has, like the validator, to the answer the miner gave, and it will score it based on the semantic distance on the semantic space. But this is kind of limited, right? So we want to research more into it and use more advanced scoring techniques for the answers, so the dataset can be more diverse.
Has there been any consideration given to using more than one provider via the APIs as opposed to just using Claude Sonnet? For example, you did mention GPT, I believe. Has there been any consideration given to also implementing the ability to use both or query both through the miners?
Yeah, there has been a consideration about that, but like we said, currently our evaluation method for the validator kind of depends on the semantic distance, and we were worried about you using, for example, GPT-4 and the validator using Sonnet, and because of that, you're getting kind of a lower score.
Okay.
It wouldn't be as low because it's the semantic distance, but still would be at that disadvantage comparing to people using the same model as most validators, you know.
Okay.
So until we deployed better scoring mechanisms, we plan to use just a single model.
Okay, no, that's brilliant. If there's anybody else who has any questions, then feel free. Again, this is Cynthia, who is developed by the commune-ai team, who have obviously done such a huge amount of work for the entire protocol as a whole, especially when it comes to the runtime updates and most of the implementation of the governance proposals. They did so much of the work for the Yuma consensus update and then the most recent global stake update. They have been absolute paragons of the development community when it comes to commune-ai. So it's absolutely incredible the amount that they've contributed to the protocol as a whole. Yeah, big respect. But if there's no other questions, we'll give it a minute if anybody has anything else that they want to contribute. Okay, I think we'll move on to ourselves at Eden now. But thank you so much again for coming up, Gyro.
Yeah, thank you.
So it will be myself and Bako taking the stage to talk about ourselves and what we've done and whatnot. So if you'd like to take it away, Bako.
Hey there. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Gonna just go through the presentation I was planning on doing anyway, just because we're still working on all this stuff. Some of you, as you may know, our validator got registered. Basically, just to let people know what happened, the new changes to the global stake mechanism wound up with our validator getting 0.4% APY. And that was too big of a burden to bear for our sponsors that were staking to our validators. So we advised them yesterday to transfer their stake to somewhere that they would be getting a better return on their investment until we can figure it out. So as of right now, we are not in control of the Eden subnet. So, but I can show you what we've been building and what we were working on, just so you guys have an idea of what we were all about. So let me just share my screen.
Again, that was just so that everybody knows that was specifically issues with the validation as a whole, because the global stake model obviously it's still being implemented and there are still kinks to be worked out.
Oops, no, I clicked too early. I don't actually know how to go backwards on those. Yeah, so we are Eden. We're also part of a well, there's a number of companies that are sort of working together. We have the OmniLabs team, which is also Eden. They're the marketing arm of us. We have Agent Artificial, which is the AI development arm, and then we have the Celium Network, which is sort of the we're building it. It's going to be interoperating networks that connects different blockchains and is basically chain agnostic. And then we'll be able to allow people to deploy miners on multiple different blockchains and pull from multiple different resources across different networks, as well as allow for financial transactions and other things to facilitate more tightly knit AI community, because we well, I'll go through the presentation. What basically, yeah, so it's an AI powered, it's cross chain, and basically what we want to do is that we want to simplify the complexities of AI and Web3 with simple and intuitive UI. There's a lack of user interfaces for using AI solutions currently in the Web3 space. There's a lot of really cool projects, a lot of really cool tools and abilities that you can unlock, but a large number of them are hidden behind a CLI, or you need to know how to code and deploy a model to be able to take advantage of them. And then there's no interoperability between different AI solutions on different networks. So they're all sort of isolated and siloed. So there's no like consumer level tooling that's available. And I think this is one of the biggest problems, is that we have cool stuff to offer, but we don't have any customers. So we want to try to bridge that gap. The other things that are problems in this space is that there's bad actors just because of incentive driven mechanics. You're generally going to run into those with monetary incentives. So trying to figure out how to use game theory to manage that. Everything's really siloed. Again, no networking capabilities, and then non-technical users basically can't use the products that we're developing. So we want to make sure that that is bridged. So we want it set up so that businesses that are looking for custom sort of pipeline solutions can look at our toolkit, be able to build what they need, and then have it deployed. We also want to be able to replace all of the inference that is being run using wrappers for things like Anthropic or OpenAI. We would like it to be native blockchain run inference with open source models. So we're building the infrastructure to be able to do that. We have a distributed compute network that we've just finished our alpha for. So that will be able to effectively run as like a subnet, and then have people put their GPUs on, and then we can pull from that as a resource. And then just like general users that are wanting to learn how to use Web3 or the AI, or even not, just want the tooling and the cool apps, and just without learning all the crazy crap that you need to learn, like, you know, like learning how to get a wallet and transfer funds and bridge and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a little bit like grandma's not going to buy Johnny like new crypto AI stuff, right? Our solution is going to be to build a comprehensive platform that will connect multiple blockchains and multiple subnets. And we're going to build focus on building really nice UIs that will bring a SaaS experience to the products that we're developing in our space. So we got an exceptional development team. Basically, we work really hard to make sure that we are making things as abstracted and simple as possible with the final products that we're producing. Our goal is basically to have, if you slap emojis on it and don't have any labels, we want people to be able to figure out how to use it. And then things, I didn't finish that slide. Things that we're doing, or what we've done, we've built a vector store. We have a translation app that we're also working on for another project. Our distributed compute network, and then we also launched our first component on OLAS last week. So OLAS is a network that basically is like a composable set of smart contracts that allow you to build agents. And so we're going to put all of the tooling that we have from all the different places that we're building and put them up as like a comprehensive package that you'll be able to just like download, install, and then run. And then that'll connect you to across the EVM platforms, as well as across Substrate and all the way over to Polkadot. So it's a pretty powerful tool. And then to be able to have our own custom tooling with our own subnets providing the inference for agents, I think, is sort of going to be like the end game for it. And then I can show you what we've made so far. So we have, where is it? Oh, I think it's on the other screen. Yeah. Oh, no, that's not it. Where is it? Translation. No, that's the wrong thing. It's supposed to be vector store. Vector store. There we go. So this is the vector store that we have. We're going to be hosting this on our own inference for the time being. We just completed it. So I also got to reskin it so it's not agent artificial. But basically what this does is it allows you to upload documents and then you can question the documents. Currently it's like open source and like completely public, so don't load anything that's like sensitive or whatever up here. But you can ask, you can upload documents and then ask it questions. So let me see if I find a document. I didn't actually plan on demoing it directly, but you can play around with it. It's live. The channel, the link is inside of the Discord channel for us. Let's see here. Do I have a document that is good? Sure. I was looking at this thing. Let's find out about this. So we'll upload a document. And then we will do simple reader, PDF reader. Drag this over here. And then we say import. And of course it fails. Can't add data when in production mode. Oh, I have it set in the back end that it's in production mode. I didn't realize that that was going to block that. So I'll turn that off, but I'll do that after this. The other thing that we have, oh yeah, so then when you actually do ask, I'll show you how the other side of it works though. When you do ask it questions, you can be like, hey, what can you tell me about mastering? Because I know there's a document in there about mastering. And then it pulls up the documents. It ranks them based on like what the level of confidence it has, and then it will respond with a response based on that. It looks like all it said was, I found a query you're referring to. So it still needs a little bit of tuning at the back end. But the thing with this is it's going to like give you direct reference to the documents and like what it's talking about. And as more data gets added to the knowledge base, it will become more and more of an expert in its particular domain. And then the other thing we're working on is this translation application for another project. So it like translates from in like a lot of different languages.
It's over 70 currently, I believe.
Yeah, and then it also does from English to from text to speech, from speech to text, from speech to speech, and text to text. So it's very useful as well. So this is not built specifically for Commune. It's actually built for a different blockchain, but it's one of the tools in our toolkit that we're going to use. And because it's a part of our network, it's still going to be usable by Commune as well. So once we have the agent framework built out with OLAS, you'll be able to like grab a translation module, attach it to your chatbot, and then have it be able to speak in 76 different languages. So that's just sort of an idea of what we're working on right now. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, just for those who sort of didn't understand, one of the primary uses for the vector store system is you're essentially able to upload the document and specialize the model itself to give you responses that you're looking for. So you could give it a whole bunch of documents on a certain specialized topic, and the idea is that it will provide back to you a much more accurate and detailed response than any generalized model can, because you've fed it specifically the kind of data that you want summarized. So in a way, it's somewhat like an aggregation tool if you want to use it in that sort of function. So you feed it a bunch of specific literature or a bunch of information regarding education or finances, trading, that kind of thing. And essentially the idea is that you have begun the process of training it to give you the responses on specific topics that you like. But even outside of what Baka has shown us of the development team, there's been so many other things that we've been able to contribute to the ecosystem in the time that we've been here. One thing was optimization and accessibility. Bucko as well has worked on a lot of different existing repos and helped to optimize and improve those to make them much easier to access, as well as certain functionalities that will allow you to interact with the chain without actually using the CLI and other programs. And then even beyond that, we've spoken to a lot of people in the time that we've been here. Obviously, as the more front-facing part of Eden, we control the YouTube channel that uploads almost all the recordings of anything that goes on within the ecosystem. We cover news, we cover interviews, we cover aggregation of documentation and information. We tweet very regularly about all the happenings regarding especially commune-ai, but certain other ecosystems as well. And there's a small graphic that we created just to show in a way the magnitude of what it is that we've been able to contribute to the ecosystem, because it's not been a small amount that we've provided. There's been a very significant amount that we've given to the rest of the ecosystem that we would really like to make you guys aware of effectively. So I'll see if I can pull that up in a moment. But beyond that, obviously, we've gone out of our way to make sure that everybody is as informed and educated within the ecosystem as possible. And that's something that we want to stress has taken a significant amount of our time anyway. So I will put this into the chat so anybody who would like it can see it. But so those of you who can, you can open up the chat and you'll be able to see, and that's a short graphic effectively showing the magnitude of work in the few months that we've been a significant part of the protocol, on exactly how much coverage we've had, and that's purely just our YouTube coverage. So even beyond that, we've had so much text coverage. There's written information, long form and short form, educational content. There's been so much that we've tried to do in terms of accessibility to the ecosystem as a whole. And so we've done our best to make sure that everybody on the protocol is as informed as possible, especially with significant changes that have come in surrounding governance proposals and surrounding runtime updates or significant chain updates. We've done our best to try and make sure everything is easily condensable and understandable without necessarily having a development background. So it's more than just what Eden is developing that we're contributing. Other than that, if anybody has any questions, feel free to field them. Otherwise, I believe we should have time to have anybody else come up. I believe Savvy did want to come up and talk a little bit. If you are present.
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're quite loud.
Oh, I'm quite loud. Okay. Right.
I'm sure everybody else can adjust the volume if necessary.
Yeah, okay, so if you could do that on your side, that would be great. I was looking like recently on East, it's okay. So I'm surprised, but
The
hopefully you
connection
can,
is a
you
little
can,
bit. The connection is a little bit spotty as well. I'm not sure if there's anything that you're running that you could potentially drop down, just so it's easy to understand.
Okay, everything is dropped down, to be honest. So I would try to talk slowly, so you understand you right. Okay, I don't have presentation ready for today, but I hope that's right. To just describe what we are building and what we are doing on some 17. So essentially, Market Compass project. So Market Compass project is a search engine and a social prediction market for Web3 space. Basically, what we are trying to achieve is to gain a big data, big chunk of big data from all of the socials, from all of the forums, Discord channels, Telegram channels, podcasts, YouTube videos, and so on and so on. Analyze those data with different models, and by the end of the social from all of those data, we call them events from all of those events, we are trying to predict the current social sentiment and the possible future moves on the market. Right now, we are on the first phase on our project. We gain a a little bit of the funding of $1 million from individual investors mostly, and some key opinion leaders. We refused all of the VCs investing into us because we wanted to get as much still independent as possible. Currently, we are on the first phase, as I said. The first phase is basically the phase where we are getting a lot of data from different sources, and our subnet is mainly working as a data mining subnet for a Twitter API. I will also try to answer some of the questions you might have from the mining perspective for the validation perspective. Basically, how it works is that we give every miner from the validator different query every minute. So every miner get different query from their side. They need to run this query through Twitter API and return us the answer. So basically, the last 50 or 50 tweets. This is what Pro API allow to. What our validator is doing is basically checking if API answers with the same results from our side. We couldn't do it all the time because it is not efficient, and basically this API is pretty expensive. So we are doing this randomly from time to time on random miners. If the miner will become some kind of a symbol, so it's self-returning us the proper data from the Twitter, we are blacklisting the API, the API need for this miner. What we are trying to achieve with those data right now, we already start doing last, I think, 2 months as we are running our subnet. We start the 50 million of unique tweets from Twitter, all of them tweeting about Web3 space and being from different queries around the market. Just to give you some kind of I would say comparison, one API key is giving you possibility to store around 1 million tweets per month, and it costs like $6,000. So with the subnet is just leveraging our possibility of getting those data. I would also love to answer one of the questions that was asked multiple times, why we require API from Twitter and we are not scraping the Twitter, or we are not allowing to scrape the Twitter. Basically, we allow scraping the Twitter, and a lot of miners already do it. So they scrape the Twitter with the proper query with address searched, and then returning us the answer within the proper scheme, the proper JSON. But it all goes to the legal things that we cannot run the project that will essentially earn in the future if we are scraping the data from the Twitter. Scraping the data is basically not legal if you are going to earn from that. That's why we need to use the proper API, and the proper API allow us to have a commercial project. At least to some extent. I think we, if we extend the 100 million people, we still have to share some of our revenue with Twitter and other companies that we are getting data from. Of course, not like Forecaster, because Forecaster is decentralized. But this is the main reason behind our current approach regarding the data mining. Yeah. Not sure if I can tell you anything more about that. Like, our end goal is pretty simple. We would love to give people insights of what the socials thinks about the narrative, what they think about the project, the people are looking for, and essentially help them to make more informed financial decisions over those projects. What we also see inside this market, because we are developing the project for our own, for more than a year already. And that is how we also found out about the commune-ai and how we get aligned with our sponsors, which is Comswap, because they are sponsoring our subnet at the moment. We basically gave them our insight on the market and found multiple projects for them, so they could run the swaps or whatever the business is mostly connected with, and work with those projects closely. And they basically told us that maybe we can start a subnet and start developing this product for basically more people, yeah, because we are using it for only two of us. But right now, our team consists of 6 developers, and we are developing the whole solution for the people. So what we want to show our end users is that if you are, for example, investing in the commune-ai, in the commune-ai token, you can go to our page, you can search for your project, and you will get within the minutes all of the information about commune-ai that was posted recently. Just like that, you get all of the tweets, you get all of the forecasters, you get all of the forecasts, you get all of the YouTube videos that were talking about that, you get all of the discourse that that are open, and the Telegram channels that are open as well. And most of those data, because we cannot analyze all of them, but most of the data is also analyzed by AI large models, and we are getting the sentiment and the context out of it. Regarding the analyze phase, maybe this is about our future collaboration with commune-ai. We are also thinking about starting another subnet just for that, so you could use whatever large model you want. We will give you the data from the Twitter or from the forecaster, and you will be returning us the data. But right now we are working on our whole like decentralized hardware. We are working with IONET. Not sure if you are familiar with that company, but we are working with IONET, and they allow us to run our own open source LLMs, so we can actually run our own analysis on that, and that basically give us the cost efficient also for making those analyses, because if you will run it on the closed source models, it's pretty expensive to do for such small company as our company is. What else? I think I had something in my mind, but I forgot right now. I guess that would be all. So I can answer any kind of a question, so you can reach me out after the presentation.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to pop them out now. But otherwise, thank you so much anyway for coming up, Savvy.
Oh yeah, maybe one more thing. I think I forgot about that. So right now, as the product is not ready, so but we still want to give back the value to the network, which basically allow us to mine as much data as possible. We right now have an API for all of the data that are stored within our subnet. There's no like there's a Swagger, so this is the UX you can use. You can basically reach our API and get all of those data for your own, like anything you want to do with those data. So basically, all of those 50 million tweets you can get like for free from us, from our API.
Is there a link for that people can use?
Yes, I will send it in the chat in 1 second, okay?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anytime that we can exemplify exactly what it is that people are working on and allow them to interact with that in some way, I think it helps everybody to much better understand exactly what's going on and what's being developed. Again, everything that has been showcased today, I would encourage people to go out and play around with and try, go through the links and have a look at things that you think are meaningful or show the potential to be developed into anything that you think has value. And again, it's a decentralized protocol, so everybody's voice realistically does have an impact. I would encourage everybody to make sure that you talk about the projects that you believe are developing things that are worthwhile. And again, if you're supporting a project and you want to see it do well, it's absolutely worth for you to openly support that wherever possible. And every other person that you can convince to come in is going to be obviously more chance for that project to actually develop and bloom, and you might actually see their vision come to life like you'd like. Savvy's put the link into the chat channel now, so anybody who wants to take a look at that, by all means, absolutely go ahead. Otherwise, if there's any last questions, feel free. But this was all of the presentations that we had planned for today, plus Savvy coming in here at the end to talk a little bit about Market Compass. But if there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody who came to present and everybody who came. Again, there'll be a recording of this that will be up hopefully tonight, but if not, it will be up sometime in the very near future. So you'll be able to catch anything that you missed. And again, if you had visual problems connecting or seeing anything, you should be able to see the majority of that inside of the video later. Otherwise, thanks again to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hey, Honza. Hello.
Hey.
If there's anything you want to throw in, then feel free.
Not really. I think that this call should have been dedicated to the subnet builders, and we should talk about the protocol and the overall direction we're heading at later, because I know that this call has already been up for 1 hour and 20 minutes, but thank you. You've done a great job moderating, and thanks to everyone who joined. Sorry I couldn't attend earlier.
That's okay. And like you said, we'll arrange for a more open discussion regarding specifically the global stake updates and the changes to the chain and the runtime updates that have been going on, most likely later in the week.
Sure. Yeah, I'm glad to attend it.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you again, everybody. And as I said, have a wonderful rest of your day.
Take care, everyone.
Cheers, guys.